Good day, fellow peers. Today I am going to be sharing with you my experience on the administration of the Vineland 3 assessment. Now, in order for me to do this, you will see me glancing down at my notes every now and then throughout this video. So let us start. First in line, I like to share my general thoughts on the administration of this assessment. Now, I was able to give the comprehensive parent caregiver form assessment to a parent. So the administration of this assessment was not difficult for me. Now, let me clarify that. The assessment or giving this assessment was not difficult only because I have the experience of giving assessments to children to middle school age boys and girls. I do not have a direct experience of giving assessment to parents. However, I do have experience in having informal questions for parents in the school district. Now, having said that, I also didn't find it difficult because I took the time to read the manual before so that I could have a clear picture of what I had to articulate to the parent. I had to understand that I needed to make that parent feel comfortable when they were answering these questions. I also needed to know the starting points. So the manual in itself gave me that. It also gave me a clear picture of what to say to the parent on how they were going to answer the questions with the scoring of the 0, 1, 2, 3. All this made it easy for me to administer the assessment to the parent. Now, let me state that I do feel that this Vineland 3 assessment is a very good tool for educational diagnosticians, only because it is very, very thorough. It has a lot of questions that give us a clear picture of how the student behaves and also tells us and clarifies what the child can or cannot do. Now, to that, I have the second part. The part that I did not like was that it is so long. Now, having a test this long can make a parent feel very uncomfortable, or it can make a parent feel very anxious on finishing this assessment. And that sometimes can also make the parent not answer as they should or with a true picture of the child. Because it is so long, they might get tired towards the end. So I didn't like that part. I think that if the manual gave us a good clarification that it is okay for a parent to take a break after maybe every domain or after every other domain, a water break, a restroom break, maybe just a getting up and stretching break, I think that would make me feel that this test is really, really a good test. Don't get me wrong, I still feel the assessment is good, but also with that accommodation of giving the parent a break if they need to. In my case, when I gave the assessment, I didn't tell the parent that they had to do this in one sitting, so they did take one short break during the assessment. Now, as I mentioned before, the administration of the test was not difficult. What I am finding difficult is the scoring of the assessment. The scoring of the assessment makes me nervous only because of miscalculations. I do not want to miscalculate anything because once we do, it kind of skews the results of the student, and it also can give us a bad interpretation of what the child needs. And that, of course, is not good. Unfortunately, in our school district, we do not have a computer-based Vineland 3 assessment that we can just, input the scores and it gives us true scores back. So we have to do everything manually. And of course, that makes me a little bit nervous. Now, the questions that I still have at this point, and that I did ask or at least the educational diagnostician there in our school district, was that I found that in certain domains, I had up to 3 basals. And I was not sure if that was okay. The manual does state that you can have more than one. but more than one to me, is it 3? Is it 4? Is it 5? Is it 2 only? So that kind of made me uneasy. When I asked the educational diagnostician at her school district what she did, she says that she only takes the first basal and then starts scoring from there. Now, she did also state that I should follow the manual, and if the manual says that after the third basal you start to score, then you do that. So that is what I have done. However, it's still a question that I have, or a doubt that I can have. I did find that in some cases or in some domains I didn't have any ceilings, but with that I feel comfortable because there is a clarification in the manual that states that sometimes that happens. Now, since I am not fully experienced with the Vineland 3 or other assessments quite yet, and I do say yet, I cannot state firsthand how this assessment helps the comprehensive evaluation. And I only say that because I don't have the experience firsthand. However, I have read research on it, and the research does state that assessments like these, like the Vineland 3, are very good towards a comprehensive evaluation only because it helps diagnose autism or children in the autism spectrum. It also conveys that children that are not in the autism spectrum can be diagnosed with intellectual disabilities. And I think if research says it, who else better to believe than that, right? I think that is a valid response. So as far as my part goes, I have not had the experience of, giving a full evaluation on a student, but I do find the experience that I did have giving this administration at this time is very important in the evaluation of a student, only because it does give a better picture of what the child can or cannot do. Thank you for watching this time, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.